So yesterday we topped 40 degrees Celsius for the first time ever here in the UK. I've never known anything like it. Climate change is definitely making an appearance with a bang. So in this video I'm going to be talking about some of the things that you and me might be doing as hikers and campers that's having even the smallest impact on the environment. Look at that. Today is officially the hottest day ever in the UK, topping 40 degrees Celsius. And we're wild camping. I'm out with Tim and Jake. And we're on Fleetwood Pike at the minute. Nice little spot this. Blackbeck Tarn. View that way is not bad either, look. Might be able to get the drone out as well today.
Gotta be done.
That's his bed sorted out for the evening. First time I've used this for actual sleeping in. Cowboy camping, these lads. Brokeback Mountain.
Hey, Brokeback Mountain, come on.
Gotta be done, hasn't it, Tim?
Do you know what I mean?
I might not film that bit.
He's definitely filming that one. That's what's missing. That's why you're not getting the views, pal, because you're not putting it out there.
So I've gone for the more open shelter. Because today it's been the hottest day of the year. Got no signal at the minute, but earlier on it topped 40 degrees. And they're predicting that it might reach 41 degrees. It's a bit further south though. Not quite as warm up here in the Lake District. Wet through with sweat though. And it wasn't such a taxing walk up though, so yeah, enjoyable. I'm gonna have a wander up here, see what the view's like from the top. Look at the state of this. Different gravy. I don't reckon it does. If you need any sort of motivation to get out and do this, Jesus, look at it. It's 9 o'clock at night, still 23 degrees. That breeze is very welcomed. Film just doesn't give it justice, does it? You need to come and do it. So this should have been what I was having for tea today. I had to change my plans, so I'll explain now. So as I was leaving Tim's office, I found out he's got steak while I've got dehydrated hot pot. Not sure I could live with that, so plan B. So I'll save that for another day. Bit of Ainsley couscous. I've got my steak. I didn't bring a frying pan though, so I'm gonna have to steal Tim's.
Come on, eh? Little Messner. Wanted to use Tim's pan. Yeah? The real outdoor guru. Exactly.
Be prepared, div. I couldn't sit there and watch you like have steak juice dribbling in your beard while I'm eating
I know, mate.
out of a boil in the bag.
Oh, mate, just
it's not the same, is it?
Fucking hell. You're known for your steaks, mate.
That's my plate. I haven't really thought this through over today. Although I might steal one of Jake's wraps.
There you go.
Shed loads in there.
It's a cheeky.
Hey.
Bloody hell. Do you look after him or what?
Finest tortilla wraps, eh? 'Cause. 'Eh? 'Cause. 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 '
Done for me that, Tim. Yeah, no seasoning either. Red sauce is for kids.
Don't even start when you're on textbook. That's a lie, you can't keep like that.
Brown sauce every day.
All the time, yeah. Or mustard. Look at him with his ketchup and his chicken nuggets, or, well, the turkey dinosaurs.
Listen, do you want to monetize this video or not? I'll tell you what.
There we go. That's loads better than hot pot. They're not the best night skip I've ever had. Probably around 4 or 5 hours. Quite warm last night though. So yesterday we topped 40 degrees Celsius for the first time ever here in the UK. I've never known anything like it. Climate change is definitely making an appearance with a bang. So the golden rule of wild camping is that you leave no trace, but do we really leave no trace? Or do some of the things we do have an impact on the environment? And is it, in a little way, contributing to this climate change? So I'm going to discuss some of the things that I think we, that's you and me, as hikers and wild campers, are actually doing that could be having even the smallest impact on what's going on in the world. Gas for our stoves. So the burning of fossil fuels over the last few hundred years is probably the biggest contributor to global warming. There's only 100 grams in this canister, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. And to boil this, I'll probably only use about 7 or 8 grams. But do I really need to have a brew? And if 100,000 of us are all having a brew at the same time, does it have an effect on the environment? However, it's worth bearing in mind that gas, so I think this is propane, burns a lot cleaner than other fossil fuels. So if you're using a petrol stove or an alcohol stove, that actually produces more carbon. So overall, that would have a greater effect on greenhouse gas emissions, even if it seems quite insignificant to us. Rescue helicopters out. Bet that churns out some emissions. But talking of emissions, so yesterday I drove from Sheffield, so it's about 160 miles to get up here. Each way, that's a lot of miles and a lot of fuel burnt just to pitch a tent for a night. The next one's not just about camping really. But I felt the need that I had to have a piece of steak last night. And cattle, believe it or not, has a massive impact on the environment with all the amount of methane that it pumps out into the atmosphere. I think it's one of the biggest contributors to global warming. I'll have to do a bit of Googling on that one. I can't see me turning veggie overnight, but if we didn't all eat meat, maybe the planet be in a better place? You tell me. All that low cloud starting to clear up a little bit now. The views are opening up. Tim and Jacob, I think, got their asses out of bed. So we'll be filming Tim's podcast shortly. So if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link in the description below. There might be some very good chit chat in there. So I just had this opened up all last night. Just tied it back over there. Glad I had the mesh though, because the midges are brutal today. So that's another thing that I don't think really helps when it comes to having an impact on the planet. Way too much gear, so I must have half a dozen tarps now. I don't need all that gear, so that's all the transportation that that comes with it. All the manufacturing should only really need, you know, one tarp to do most things. Same with tents, sleeping bags. We all seem to have way too much gear, and we try and convince ourselves that we need different gear for different scenarios, but for the most part, you know, one tent, one sleeping bag, one sleeping mat will do you for pretty much all year round. So as you know, we're in the Lake District. Yesterday, the Peak District, due to risks of wildfires, they closed all of the open access land. So we couldn't have done this yesterday up in the Peak District. Wasn't quite as warm up here though, so pretty much go where you like. I don't know if these conditions are going to be the norm from now on. It used to be once in a blue moon that we got really hot weather. It seems more and more frequent that we're getting weird, freakish weather conditions. Right, so that's everything packed away. Left no trace, look, apart from some of the things that I've already discussed. Look at that. That's why we come wild camping. I know lighting a little gas stove or buying a tent seems insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but when there's hundreds of thousands or millions of people doing something that is a little bit of an impact, that can add up to a big change. So it might make me think twice, you know, about ordering a tent that has to come all the way from China on a shipping container, or maybe I should trim my gear down a little bit, and you know, so get that gear that I've got is actually being used by somebody. So anyway, climate change is happening. I think we all need to take some kind of responsibility.